It's the 1st of November, so obviously the females are open now in England, and we've come out on our boundary side to look for these fallow. So the last few times we've been out stalking, we've come over here looking for fallow bucks or prickets to shoot. We've only seen does and kids, so obviously now we can shoot the does and kids. We haven't seen anything at all apart from through the trees here. We've got a young roebuck which is now out of season, so that's sod's law for you really. Just come back up to where the vehicle is. We've actually got a single fallow, looks like a buck, maybe a pricket or something. And just see its back over the top of the hill, just feeding down the edge here. So we need to quickly get straight down, see if we get a shot on it. But we've got the wind blowing from us to him now, which is going to be, might be an issue. We got about 100 yards further down to him with the wind coming right on our back down towards him. Just went into some of the undergrowth on the edge there, but could just about get a shot on his shoulder. About 190 metres in the end. Managed to give him a shout, get him to stop, put his head up and get the shot off. So he's obviously run into the trees there, but I think it's a good shot. We'll go and have a look in a minute. This maize field was harvested yesterday and they've literally cultivated it straight away, because the maize harvest is a little bit behind this year, so as soon as it's gone the farm need to get it all turned over. So he was obviously just picking over any little cobs are left. Yeah, right, give it a few minutes, we'll go and have a look. Obviously we've just got the new Spartan SpringBok sticks, and sod's law, we've ended up using the Spartan Bipod in this particular situation. We'll go and have a look. Monty. Here it is. Good. Shot just behind the shoulder. It's run in about, well, 20-30 metres. Get this unloaded and we'll get it pulled out. Right, well there we go. The trouble with the fallow is obviously they're not as big as the red, so you can't really justify getting the quad unless it's a long way to drag it. But obviously they're bigger than the muntjac and roe, so you know when you've dragged one just a few sort of meters really. But yeah, I mean, on the estate here we don't want the fallow, so we shoot everything we can that's in season, so it's not really a sort of a situation of leaving good ones to get better. We'll take does over bucks to obviously try and reduce the population for everyone else in the surrounding area as well. But this one, if you're looking at it from a head management perspective, it's just an average sort of poor pricket really. Got small weedy antlers. Okay, it's broke them off because it's just been sort of rubbing against a tree or fighting a little bit, but they wouldn't have been very long anyway. And the coronets on it are quite small, so you can therefore assume that in the future it's going to grow you know, slightly smaller circumference antlers than a buck that's got bigger coronets on it. So yeah, but we'll get this back to the larder, get it cleaned out. It'll be a good carcass, be in good condition, having eaten all that maize and you know, whatever nuts are about this time of year. So yeah, hopefully be a good one for the game dealer. That wind's getting up well now. It's Storm Kieran, the next one, I think. So that's more of the forage maize coming in. They've still got quite a lot to cut because it's been quite late this year. But this field on my right, this is where we came down to first thing. Actually had a little scout round here last night with a thermal, and we saw a few fallow on here just clearing up what the guys had spilt or the machine had like dropped over the side of the trailer. But obviously this morning they weren't there, sod's law. So yeah, we'll go and grab that pricket, get it back to the larder. Bit heavier than a muntjac. It's just gone 1 o'clock. Obviously the clocks have changed now, so we've got a lot shorter days. It's getting dark about 5 o'clock. So we had that fallow pricket this morning. We're just going to go and have a look in this wood on the right hand side. There's quite a lot of sweet chestnut trees in there, and there's a lot of chestnuts on the floor. Grey squirrels are clearing them up quite quick, and obviously the muntjac get on those as well. So we've left this area quite quiet the last few weeks because it's quite a good spot for the reds in the rut, but now they've sort of finished rutting, we can go in there again and see if we can get a few muntjac out of there. Grab some sticks. Let's go. just stood here out of the rain, and CJ was just doing an arty raindrop on a leaf thing, and a young muntjac just came through here and hadn't really noticed us, but it was only 20 metres away. As soon as I moved to get the rifle, it just clocked us and ran off over there. Never mind, it's early yet. Gonna stand in here. Just got quite a good vantage point looking over this area in front of us under these sweet chestnuts. CJ, there's something moving just through here to the right, coming from right to left. Yeah, red deer. Going to come through this gap in front. So we've been stood up against this tree in the rain for about half an hour probably, hoping that a daft muntjac was going to come out and munch on some of these chestnuts. And it just started to ease off a little bit and caught some movement through here, and it was probably about 12 red deer in total in the end. There's a pit directly behind the camera. Obviously they were sat down in there, and once that rain let up a little bit, they just came out, trickled through here. The sort of main bulk of them went through. We couldn't get a shot on those, but there was either a yearling or a calf just stopped towards the end of the group in a little gap through there, about 120 metres, so got a shot on that. I think it's gone down. It was fairly front on, so hopefully we've got away with that. We'll obviously just give it a couple of minutes and then we'll go and see if it's down there. Yeah, so just walking down towards this, where this red deer was, but you can see here on the floor how many chestnuts are still laying around, and these have been falling off the tree now for a good week or two, and there's still plenty more to come off by the looks of it. So obviously all the deer will be picking around these, but also the squirrels. You can see where squirrels been set up against the bottom of the tree, just chewing away on the nuts. So you can see where it was stood, where the shot was taken, where it stirred up all the ground underneath. There's no sign of blood or hair or anything, but then you can see a trail where it's sort of gone down on the ground, got back up again and disturbed the ground on the way to where it's ended up. So we've come, well, 5-10 metres and just got a little bit of blood on this leaf here now. So particularly with these copper rounds, you find that if the bullet exits, you don't get a massive hole, so you don't get a lot of blood, and you tend to not get it straight away, and then after a while, as the blood starts to come out of that smaller exit hole, then you start to find it on the ground but there's certainly not a lot of it. Good. Right, so it looks like we've got ourselves a yearling. It's quite hard when they're on their own to, you know, to judge the age of them. I mean, I could see it was not a mature hind or anything, but she hasn't got any milk in her udder, so she was born last year, so 2022. Yeah, so obviously, like we said, she was turned slightly front onto us, so took it in the front of the chest here. On its left hand side, so the bullet's going to go through the heart lungs at a bit of an angle. You can see it's definitely a bit of lung blood there. Doesn't look like the bullet's exited at all, so any blood that's come out, just that little bit, is just coming out of the entry hole, which is why there isn't very much of it. So the bullet's probably stopped up in here somewhere. Good. Well, a bit more productive than a small muntjac, but obviously not quite as easy to extract, but we can get the trailer in here anyway, so I think we'll start heading back to the truck and get that done before it gets too dark. Back at the larder, just got this red sorted out. Productive day in the end. Obviously nice to catch up with a fallow eventually after several times of trying, but it'd be nice to obviously get into some does to try and help control the population a bit more. And then obviously we didn't catch up with a muntjac, but good to start off on a red hind on the first day of the female season in England. So we've got these all labelled up now. For all the conspiracy theorists out there and the people that are into their numbers, this one weighs 37 kilos and the red weighs 73 kilos. So as a comparison, obviously different sex, but basically the same age animal, both born in 2022. Interestingly, with the red, obviously we shot it in the front of the chest and it angled up through the carcass like this. We found the bullet just lodged in the skin the other side. So this 170 grain 3006 copper with a ballistic tip, and there's the bullet that we found in the skin. So you tend to find a few more of these copper ones because obviously they don't disintegrate as much as lead. So yeah, nice little souvenir from the day. We'll get these in the chiller. The game dealer will be along in a sort of week's time to pick them up, and then we'll see you guys in a month's time. We'll be out in December. I'm not sure what we'll be doing yet, but hopefully you'll enjoy this one, and please like, subscribe, leave a comment, ask a question, and catch you next time.